Tonight, here in London, Habira, we are saying a special feature shiur for the Koilel Avreichim here, learning Perek Omar Lema Memune, and we will tie it with Inyone Hayoim of this day today. The Gemara in Perek Omar Lema Memune is discussing the levisha of the begodim of Kohen Gadol during Yom Kippur. As we know, Kohen Gadol was wearing in part of the Avodas Big Day Zohav, and in part of the Avodas he was wearing Big Day Lavan. And the Gemara says in Yume in the Lamed Aleph and with Beis that when the Kohen Gadol was taking off his clothes to go in to make a tevilah, it says that he used porsu sodin shel boots in order to hide, to make privacy for the Kohen Gadol to make the tevilah. They took a sadin of boots, and that sadin of Big Day Love and the Big Day boots, that would be used as a cover in order for the Kohen Gadol to hide behind this mechitza, this curtain. And the Gemara comes along, Mai shno shel boots, the Gemara in Yom Tov Lamed Aleph with the Beis, Kede Omar Rav Kahane, the Omar Rav Kahane kishiyakir she'avodas hayoim bebig day boots. Ochonami sheyakir she'avodas hayoim bebig day boots. We know that a Kohen Gadol called Lashon HaKula is over b'shmeina begodim, and the begodim were of Zov. And four of the begodim, the tzitz and the choshen and the ephod and the pamoinei ha'me'il were made out of Zohav. So in order to remind the Kohen Gadol that he has to change the clothes in order to be oived, not bebig de Zov, but bebig de Lovon, so as a reminder, they made the sadin shel boots, in order, it says Rashi, sheyesh hayoim olov avoida shebebig de boots, lefi she'eino rogel l'shores below shmoyin abgodim, veyesh mehem shel Zov, kegoyin tzitz v'choishen v'ephod u'pamoinei ha'meil. So this is the reason why they were poyer sadin shel boots. Sai here, and Rav Kahana really says the halacha by Speter in the later Gemara, the Lamedal, Lamedain, the sugya of the Tvilo Shniya, but the idea is the same idea that the sadin shel boots is to remind them to wear Big Day Lovan and not Big Day Zov. If you look up in the Rambam in Hilchos Avodas Yom Kippur, and I'll read it fast, the Rambam says like this: Kol ma'aseh atmidim ve'amusofim shel yom zeh oisan Kohen Gadol v'ulovush bebig Day Zohav. The tmidim of musafim, which is avodas, which are noyeg b'kol Lashon HaKula, the Kohen Gadol makes it v'ulovush bebig Day Zohav. Ve'avoda is hamiyuchodos liyom zeh bebig Day Lovan. However, any avoda which is miyuchet to yom zeh is Big Day Lovan. And the Rambam spells out what is avoda miyuchedes liyom zeh, u'maiseh apar shel Kohen Gadol v'shnei hasirim she'echod mehem soyer ha'mishtaleach v'aktoros b'kodesh hakodoshim kol elu bebig Day Lovan memnasi. The Rambam says that all the halachos, which the Rambam calls with a quote unquote hamiyuchodes liyom zeh, is bebig Day Lovan. And the Rambam goes and be mefaret what are the avodas which is miyuchodes liyom zeh, the par from Kohen Gadol, the shnei seir echod laHashem echod la'azazel, the ktoires which use maktir and not behechol like kol yom but in kodesh hakodoshim, those were the avodas which necessitated to do them in Big Day Love. Then the Rambam keeps on going, called eis sheishane abgodim v'ivshit bgodim yilbash bgodim achem ton tvila shenemar ufosha Big Day abad rochat tzomsoy v'chomesh tvilos v'asor kedushin tov v'kohen Gadol mekadesh boi bayom. Keitzad בתחילה פוישת ביג די חול שאולו וטויבה ואוילו מסתפק לו ביג די זו מקדיש ידו ורגלו ושכת את התומיד ומקטיר כתורי של שחר ומתי ונרוס ומקטיר יבורי התומיד עם החביתים והנסוך ומקד הפער ושיבה כבוסים של מוסף היום. ואחר כך, and when he finished doing this avodas, which is avodas anoyagois בכל יום, מקדיש ידו ורגלו פוישת ביג די זו וטויבה ואוילו מספק לו ביג די זו ומקדיש ידו ורגלו ואוילו avodas היום כולו הווידויים עם האגרולו וזריקס אדום מבפנים והקטורס בקודש הקדושים ומויסר השעיר למשלח ומויצר אימור הפר ומויסר לשריפה. After you finish doing some avodas, poishet b'godov again, mekadesh yodov v'raglov, poishet big day lovon, take off the big day lovon afterwards. Poishet big day lovon, v'toivo v'oilu mistaber lovi big day zov, mekadesh yodov v'raglov, maktiv seir achatel shel musaf hayoyim, ve'eiloi ve'eiloham ve'eimoilus. The Rambam says that the seir chatos of musaf hayoyim, and the ayil, the eiloi and eiloham, those are oiles umaktir emure par v'soyer anisrofu umaktir tomit shel ben ha'abayim. It's again all done the big days of. Steht in Rambam v'chakach mekadish yodov v'raglo poishet big days of v'toivo v'oidu mispakeh umekadish yodov v'raglo v'loivish big day lovon v'nichnos l'kodesh hakadosh u'moitzi misham esakav v'samachto, says the Rambam, and then you are going again kiddush yadayim v'raglo poishet big day lovon v'levish big dezov, u'maktir k'toyer sheben ha'abayim sheb'chol yoyim, u'meitiv v'saneres ben ha'abayim, u'mekadesh yodo v'raglo, u'poishet big dezov, v'levish big dechol v'yoyz. So when the Gemara comes along and says the reason why you give sadin shalbutz kadei sheyakir ba'avodas hayoyim, literally according to the Rambam, it's very simple that the avodas hayoyim is a miyuchedes leyoyim, is this avodas which miyuchedes bebig day level. But lemaise, you see that there are certain korbanos which are not noig the whole year round, the ayil of Kohen Gadol, and Elohim, and Musfa Yom HaKippurim, which is a Musafim, which are noig only in Yom HaKippurim, that are done in Big Days of. So why is the Rambam makes a general statement, Avodas HaMiyuchodas L'Yom Zeh, and you see that some of the Avodas HaMiyuchodas L'Yom Zeh yet are done in Big Days of, you know. Some people want to say that the Rambam means to say he's talking about the kapara of the Yom. But that's also shver, because it's so as kafu machta, which is not a kapara, and yet we see in the Rambam the tzos kafu machta necessitate big day love, so that something here doesn't make any sense. So l'chur the pashto pshat in the Rambam is that the avodas hamiyuchodas l'yoyim is avodas which are done partially in kodesh hakadoshim. Kohen Gadol doesn't go into Kodesh HaKadoshim whole year round. He goes to Kodesh HaKadoshim only on Yom HaKippurim, Pa'am Achas B'Shana. And the avodas that have some of the avodah is done lifnai v'lifnim, that's called avodas hamiyuchodas l'yisayim. The Gemara in Rosh Hashanah Daf Chavov says, Omar Avchiz de mipnei ma'en Kohen Gadol nichnas bebig dezov lifnai v'lifnim. Why isn't the Kohen Gadol go in with big dezov? Why do we change? Why do we put on the... So the Gemara, lefi she'ein kategar Nasa Saneg, the Egel Klal Yisrael did was in Zohov. Therefore, in order for it not to walk in to become a Saneg of a Klal Yisrael doing the Avodas Lifnai V'Lifnim, therefore you have to do the Avodas Bebig de Lov and not Bebig de Zov. Rashi also says later on in Daf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph, in Rashi Al HaTorah, all over, Rashi continues saying the same thing, that the big day Zohov is a contradiction to Avodah Bifnim because En Kateger Nasa Saneger. Therefore, anything which has to do with Avodah Bifnim is done by big day Lov and not by big day Zohov. If you look at the Psukim, just the Pashto Pshat, the Psukim, Daber Elan Achicho Val Yova B'chol Eisa LaKodesh, and the next Pasuk is Bezoy Siyav Ayin LaKodesh. Ksoinas Bat Kodesh Yilbash. Bat Kodesh means Pishtan, from big day Pishtan from Beged Lovon. The Levisha, the big day Lovon, it says Beferish, Val Yova B'chol Eisa LaKodesh, Bezois Yova Ayin LaKodesh, Pashta is the Psukim HaMoire, that the reason for Levisha's big day Lovon is not to go in with big day Zov, Lifnai V'Lifnim. Somebody's going to answer kasha, you see that there's some avodas done b'chutz b'big day Lovon. Akoponim, the teretz is, and this is the Parshat Pshat, the avodas that you did, Miktsosoi Bifnim, like Moshel, the Azov, from the Dam, from the Par, and the Soyer, and Aktoyos, since Miktsas Avodah was Bifnim, anything which the Miktsas Avodah was Bifnim, even though you do the completion, the Avodah B'chutz, here there's a halacha, it's called Avodah Samiyuchodas Lo Yisayim, and you need to work it by Big Day Lovin. So Mishtaleach, there is no Avodah Bifnim, but Lamaisa Shtei Chain, in Rishaim, Soyer HaMishtalech and the Soyer LaZozel are both the Soyer HaMishtalech and the Avodah, the Soyer, the other Soyer which went Bifnim, the Azor Saddam with Bifnim is considered one korban, and therefore the Klal is ein Klal. Any Avodah which is Miyuchedes, L'yoim Zeh, Bebig Day Lovin, the Kavana is, it's Miyuched to be oived the avoido lifnai velifnim, either kuloi or miktsosoi. That's the chura, the Parshat Pshat. I would like to focus tonight on a little bit different subject, and the reason why I would like to speak about it is because tonight the Olam Veis is the Yahrtzeit von Agoyen Reb Shmuel Rozovsky, the Ponever Yeshiva. Reb Shmuel, very well known, was Nifter Taki in Chov Zayin Tammuz Tovshin Lametes. We have 45 years Yahrtzeit tonight for Reb Shmuel Zichrono Livrocha. And I heard an Eore from Reb Shmuel Rozovsky many years ago, and I would like to discuss that Eore, which is negeya to the sugya that you people are learning here today. Rashi says, what are the bigdei zohav? Rashi says, chosh tzitz. Tzitz is made tzitz zohav tor. Choshen was zohav. The ephod had zohav. And pa'amoinei ameil. What does it mean, pa'amoinei ameil? We know that the shulei ameil had, the meil was made out of tchelas v'agomim v'tulas, shoni, and then on the bottom they put in pa'amoinei zov v'rimoinei zov. They put bells and pomegranates on the bottom of the meal. So Rashi says the pa'amoinei meal is, the pa'amoinim of the meal is the klei zohov, which is not supposed to be going Yom Kippurim lifnai v'lifnim. If I look in the psukim in Sefer Shmois, it says like this: V'osiso al shulov rimoinei tcheles ve'argomim v'toilas shoni al shulov soviv u'pa'amoinei zov betoichom soviv. You should put a bottom of the me'il rimoinim, the rimoinim made out of tcheles and zo and argomim v'toilas shoni, and pa'amoinei zohov betoichom. Pa'amoin zov v'rimoin, pa'amoin zov v'rimoin al shula me'il soviv. Says Rashi, b'toicham soviv, beineim soviv, bein shnei rimoinim, pa'amoin echod, dovuk v'tolui b'shulei me'il. It's Rashi every year, there's almost like Rashi in Zvochim Daf Peches Amud Aleph, and I'm reading the Rashi. Mashetolui b'seichon lekashkesh, v'toilei boi, Eitzel arimen, v'hu pa'amoin, ki diksiv pa'amoin v'rimen, u'betoich ha'remoinim dikol lav betoich ha'cholol koma, ela beineim, the pa'amoin echod ben shnei rimoin. The Rambam, the Rashi learns, so is Shitas Rambam in Hilchos Klei HaMikdash, that that's where the Torah says pa'amoin v'rimen, doesn't mean that the bell is inside, you hang up a pa'amoin, a bell inside the rimoin, but pa'amoin v'rimoin means to say beineim. Between every two rimoinim, you put in one pa'amoin zov. That's the Shitas Rashi. Kommt again the Ramban auf Not. Und sagt der Ramban, v'lo yodati gamken lomo oso arav ha'pa'amoinim la'atzmo. Why is the Rashi make pa'amoinim la'atzmo? Pa'amoin b'shnei rimoinim. Ki im kein lo hoyu ha'rimoinim mishamshim klum. So what do we have out of the rimoinim? If the Bishlamo, if you're going to say that the pa'amoin was inside the rimoin, so that was a tzur, it was a pomegranate. Inside there was a bell, it was mekashkesh b'toich ha'rimoin. But if you're going to say that the pa'amoin zov was separately, you had the rimoin, pa'amoin, so it comes out the rimoinim, einem mishamshim klum. Ve'im lenoi, zok the Ramban, if you're going to say that it was just for beauty, lomo yosuim kerimoinim chalulim yasem kemin tapuchei zov. Why do you make it chalulim? You make it in the way it says in the Torah. It's a rim, a pomegranate which has not closed. It's not 100% closed, and it's hollow inside. It's hollow. Why do you make it hollow? Make it like apples full. Ve'im yase bohem taboyes litlois bohem. Why did oyotzorich haposuk leforish b'ma yitla pa'amoinim? If you're going to say the pa'amoinim are not put inside the rimoinim, so the pasuk should have said, how you toilet the rimoinim? Zog the Ramban, aval hem b'seichon mamish. You should know Rashi's wrong. The din pa'amoin v'rimoin, the pa'amoin was inside the rimoin. Ki ha'rimoinim chalulim, ve'asuyim kemin rimoinim ktanim shelei poschu piyem. The rimoinim were small ones. Ve'apa'amoinim tmunim bohem v'nirim miseichom. The Ramban says the rimoin was a pomegranate, was hollow, it was open, and you don't see anything, was small, and you hung up the pamoin inside the rimoin, and it was sticking out, and this was making the kishkush. And that's is the tzur of pamoin verimoin. There's a pamoin verimoin inside the rimoin is pamoin. But so we have machlekes Hashem. Shitas Rashi v'Arambam. The pamoin verimoinim is pamoinim which was done of tchelos v'argomon, and all those which mentioned in the pasuk telashoni v'sheish v'argomon. Those where the rimoinim were standing befnei atzmon, and the pamoinim were in between them. And Shitas Aramban, no, that the pamoin was inside the rimoin, and pamoin, you read the pasuk, pamoin is of b'tsoichom soviv. The shayla, how do you read the word b'tsoichom? B'tsoichom means amongst them, or the tsoichom means within them. Shitas Rashi means amongst them, and so is Shitas Arambam, and Shitas Aramban is within them. I heard B'tzirusi from Reb Shmuel Rozovsky, the Baal Ha'ilula from tonight, l-Horav, and a beautiful vort, and I would like to say it over. Yuzmeir, l'chura, if you look in the Targum Unkelus, you find a steer. If you look in Parshas Tetzaveh, and I'm reading, V'tavid al shpiloye rimoine tchele ve'agvono v'tzeva zehoire al shpiloye schoir, you should be maimed all the rimoinim schoir. V'zagin the dahav beineihoin schoir. And you should put the pamoinim beineihem soviv schoir. That's like Rashi and the Rambam. If I look in Parshas Pekudei, it says vayasu pamoin zov tor vayitnu es pamoinim besoicha rimoinim al shula meil soviv besoicha rimoinim. I'm reading the Targum. Ve'avdu zagin. Zagin means pamoin. The dove made out of gold. Ve'yavi zeya zagaya begoy rimoinayo. You should put it inside. Begoy rimoinayo, not beineihoin like he's metargum in Parshas Tetzaveh, but begoy inside the rimoinayo al shipule meila schoir begoy rimoinayo. Twice he says, like Shita Sarambam, that the pamoin was inside the rimoinim. The steer is a mefurish steer in Divrei Targum. That was the Ora Yuz Meir. And he said a beautiful word. That there is a chiluk between the tzivui and the Maisa Me'il in Parshas Tetzaveh and the Parshas of the Me'il in Parshas Pekudei. The Parshas Me'il in Parshas Tetzaveh was before Chet HaEgel. Before Chet HaEgel, then you could expose the pamoin between the Rimoinim. Why? Because even though right now, there's no reason to hide the pamoinim and the rimoinim. The pamoin was be able to be revealed, so therefore was taka like Shitas Rashi, the ikar tzivu l'chatchile, when they were metzaveh and big dekune, was pamoin rimoin, because the pamoinim were freestanding in between the rimoinim. You had a pamoin which was exposed, it was gold, and it was taka revealed. There's no reason why, because the only reason why you wouldn't want it Pamoina rimoinim al zov is ein kategor nases aneger. Mimele, therefore, Rashi, the Targum is mefarish exactly like Shitas Rashi that the pamoin was between the rimoinim. In Parshas Pekudei, which is said after Chet HaEgel, v'balt ein kategor nases aneger, and the pamoin was made out of zov tor. Therefore, you have to hide the rimoinim and put it within, you hide the pamoinim and put it within the rimoinim. A beautiful word from Reb Shmuel Rozovsky, Yahrtzeit Livrocho, the Neshama Zayna Zolhoman Aliyah. The problem is that it's nicht azay poshet. You know, there is a grace of machlekes Rishonim throughout between Rashi and the Ramban. In the pasuk Parshas Kisiso, Vayiten el Moshe kechaloiso ledaber itoi. Rashi says, Vayiten el Moshe en mukdem mucho bater. Maiseo egel koidem l'tzivu yamlechas hamishkin yomin rabim. Sharei b'shivoso betamuz nishtabu al luchis. ובيום הכיפורים נשרץ הקדוש ברוך הוא לישראל ולמוחרת התחילו בנדבס המשכן ואוקום באחד בניס. So Rashi says that the whole the Maiser Egel was before Tzivei HaMishkan. So Rashi says if you read the Parshiyas of Truma and Tetzaver, Kisiso Yaakov Pekuda, it's really Shalei Al Pi Seder, because Truma and Tetzaver was said after Chet HaEgel. Chet HaEgel, Nochamo. Kol Yisrael comes out of Mitzrayim. The Mechabel the Torah 40 days later, the Chet HaEgel and Shviyas Aluchis. And that was the Chet HaEgel in Shavuos HaBetamuz right after the Shana Rishonah. Moshe Rabbeinu goes 40 Yom Mitzrayim and 40 Yom Shneim, and Bakadosh Baruch Hu tells them Mochas Yom HaKippurim, the Tzivui HaMishken Fun Salachti Kidvarech. So Rashi, the Parsha is the way it's structured, the chronological order of the Parsha is Seder HaTorah is not Keseder, because Trumat Tetzaveh is really after Kisisa. The way the events took place was after Parshas Mishpatim, which talk about Matan Torah, is Moshe went up 40 days and come back down in Shavuos HaBetamuz with the Luchos, and that was first. And then only after Kadosh Baruch Hu was Nisratzu, was Michoel and Chet HaEgel, he was Metzaved in the Shana Shniyah. I mean, it's not really Shana Shniyah because it's Nisan to Nisan, but in the next Yom Kippur, which is the next after Shavuos HaBetamuz, then the Kadosh Baruch Hu Metzaved, they were busy building the Mishkan, the Homibah. That's when we're given the Parsha of Trumat Tetzaveh V'Yakov Pekudim. That's Shitas Rashi. Ramban says not like that. Ramban in Ompang Parshas V'Yakov says that the Tzivui Be'emes, the Parshas were given Ketzuroson. The Parshas were given Ketzuroson means Trumat Tetzaveh Kadosh Baruch Hu B'Matan Torah gave him a Tzivui and Asiyas HaMishkan. While they were mekalkel in the Egel, they lost it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, the Mishkan which I told you to do is gone. He put it on the back burner and put it to hibernation. There's no more Tzivui and Akomas HaMishkan. That's the Shitas HaRamban. Afterwards, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Salachti Kidvorech Vayakel, Moshe says the Ramban, this pasuk was after the Kadosh Baruch Hu was Misratze, steht in Ramban, Vekoras imoi bris chadosho, sheyelech Hashem bekirben, oz choser lekadmusom, vetzivom al binyan hamishkin, k'mo shenitztava mikoid. So Shitas Ramban is that Be'emes, Trumat Tetzaveh were first given. And then they lost it by Chet HaEgel. And then afterwards, when they lost it for a period from Shavuos HaBetamuz to Yom Kippur, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Chozru lekadmusam ulahavas kuloisom vetziva al hamishken ma shetziva oisom mikoidem. So this comes out that according to the Ramban, the Parshas are said Keseder. According to Rashi, the Parshas is a Mukdem and Mucha B'Torah, and Parshas Kisisa Chet HaEgel was given prior to the Asiyas HaMishkan. The Kasha is this word, which is a beautiful word about the Pamoinim. It's a Sheina word only in Das HaRamban. In Das HaRamban, that Take, the Tzivui from Truma and Tetzaveh, is a Tzivui on Chet HaEgel, and the Tzivui to Tetzaveh was given a Chatchila before Chet HaEgel. Then there were Chet HaEgel, they lost it, and there afterwards, they made the Mishkan after Chet HaEgel. So he's saying, very beautiful, that in Parsha Rishonah was Takesovi was exposed because there's no problem with Inkatega Nasas HaNegel because no Chet HaEgel. And later on, after the Chotu Be'egel, there were Nitztabet to change, which is a Veltz Chiddush. But it said Nitztabet to change it to put the Ba'amoinim inside the Rimoin. Das is eigentlich called. But according to Rashi, that the halacha was that Lechatchila, the Tzivui Abinyan HaMishken, only started after Chet HaEgel, after Yom Kippurim Shoshana, you can't say such a word. You want to find the Targum goes, is Mezakish totally betray. First he says like Rashi, then he says like the Ramban. If he holds like Rashi, so then, according to Rashi, there was no tzivui on, before Chet HaEgel, there was never a tzivui. The whole tzivui started only later on. Agav, which is a shiur b'fnei atzmoi. You have to understand that according to Rashi, that the Parshi is fine. We know that Klal Yisrael lost, State in Chazal, B'kama Mekoyim, Klal Yisrael lost the actually Hukam Mishkan Avodah B'B'Cheres, and Klal Yisrael lost the B'Cheres lost the Avodah because they were the one who served in the Eikel. Baruch Hu said, Ani nosati oischo prokfi lebonai ve'ato chayte be'egel chayecho shanu lekeches an B'Cherim imcho v'noisno l'bnei Levi. So Chazal in a few formats that Chet HaEgel was the reason for them for losing the Avodah. We know that actually Hukam Mishkan Avodah B'Cheres, there was no Parsha of Big Dekuna, there's no Big Dekuna Babama. The whole Parsha Big Dekuna is only by a Kohen, Shtei Degmoy in Zvachim Learn Ta'aloche, and Big Dem Alem and Kunosom Alem. So Zayora, Gewaldike Ora, if according to the Ramban, they were Metzaveh and the Tzivui of Truma Tetzaveh was given prior to that, and they just lost the Chet HaEgel. Before they lost the Chet HaEgel, the B'Cheres were due to be Mishamesh till they lost it. So why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving a Tzivui in Parshas Tetzaveh and Big Day and the Big Day Kahuna? According to Rashi, I understand that afterward Mischaper on the Egel, and but Lemaise, due to Chet Egel, the Bcheres lost it. So now you have a parsha of Kehuna. So Kehuna ain't big them on Kehuna also will verstehe. But according to the Ramban, that the Chatchila they were given the tzivui on the Egel, the Chatchila were given the parsha before the tzivui on the Egel they were given the tzivui on Asiyas HaMishkan. The parshas Trume is parshas Trume, but the Mishkan v'Keilov, and parshas Tetzav is by Big Dekuna. Vu kommt rein Big Dekuna if they didn't have Chet Egel, they didn't lose the parsha, they didn't lose their avodah b'bcheres, which is a mikzoya b'fnei atzmei. Malkopon is nachzel in Yonenu the word from Reb Shmuel Zechreinu Livrocha. Now the reason why the Targum is Mishani, in one place he says Pamoinim Beinarim, that the Pamoinim were Benarimoinim, and the other time he says Betoicharimoinim is one was before the Egel, one was after the Egel. It's a beautiful word, but it doesn't shtim. Malkoponim L'shitas Rashi, that the whole tzivur is after the Egel, the teretz is nishkin teretz. So I'd like to say posh the pshat. Just a posh, I'm learning the pshat. The Rambam in Hilches Klei Hamikdash, I'm quoting, when the Rambam's talking about the Pamoinim and the Rimoinim, steht Rambam, Ve'oise oisom kemin Rimoinim shelo poschu piyem, ve'toil oisom b'me'il, u'mevi shnayim v'shivi zugim, u'bahem shnayim v'shivim in bolim hakol zov, ve'toil oisoi Shisha v'shloishim b'shul lekanaf zeh, v'shiv v'shloishim b'shul lekanaf zeh, v'azug ima'im bo atolu ben shneim ke'echod nikra pa'amoin. The zug and the imbal, the Rambam says, is outside, the gling gling, like a bell. A zug which has the imbal. So the Rambam says, ad she'iyu shulov b'shnei tzdodim pa'amoin l'rimon pa'amoin b'rimon. So Shitas Rambam that the misper of the rimoinim was shovet to the misper of the Pamoinim. There were 72 Mikol Mim Vemin. There's Machlekes and the Gemara in Zvachim Daf Peches Amud Beis. It was exact the same number, was one more. Bakopon Shita Sarama was 72 Mikol Mim Vemin. So I heard from my Rebbe Zechreinu Livrocha, Rabbi Yosheber Soloveitchik in Rosh Yeshivas Bris, I asked the following kasha. He said, according to the Rambam, there were Pamoin Verimon, like Rashi, Pamoin Verimon, Pamoin Verimon, not like the Ramban. So what steht in Parshas Pekudei, Vayitnu es ha-Pamoinim b'soicha rimoinim al shule amnil sovi b'soicha rimoinim. So you say b'soicha rimoinim means to say amongst. Doesn't mean within, it doesn't mean amongst. But he said, why is it called that the Pamoinim is b'soicha rimoinim? For the same price you say fakir, that they put the rimoinim b'soicha Pamoinim. If you say that the Pamoinim were hung inside the Rimoinim, verstehe ich, Besoich means inside. But if you say that the Pamoinim were one Pamoinim, so the same way the Seder was Pamoin Verimin, there were Maschil from one side from Pamoin, and there were Messiah on the other side in the Rimun. That's why you have exactly 72 on each, from each one of them 72. So the shaila is, why is the Pamoinim b'soicha Rimoinim more than the Rimoinim b'soicha Pamoinim? So he told his father, the Brisker over Vort, the Briskovich Shtak Hanogat, he used to say over the Vort, said that the Tzivu Vayasu al Shulei Ameil Rimoinet Chelos Ve'argome V'telaz Shoni Vayasu Pamoinim Zov Toyer Vayitnu Es HaPamoinim b'soicha Rimoinim al Shulei Ameil Sovi b'soicha Rimoinim. That's not the pshat that this is the tzura of the Me'il. But it's a din in Asiyas HaMe'il. First, you put on the Shulei HaMe'il, the way to make, the way for the art craft, for the people, for the umnim, to make the Me'il, they used to put up first all the Rimoinim Bedilug. Rimoin space, Rimoin space, Rimoin space. After they finish all putting on all the Rimoinim, the din is they had to be putting in the Pamoinim Beneim. The Rambam's Loshen very medukdik. Ve'oisei kimil rimoinim v'toile oisem b'me'il. First you got to put it on. U'meivi shnayim v'shivim zug b'hem shnayim v'shonim bolim hakol zov v'toile bo shleishim v'shisho b'shul l'knav zeh v'shisho v'shleishim b'shul l'knav zeh v'azug inayil bo unik achi yeshulo mishnei tzedod of pameh v'rimen. So the emissary doctor, after you finish, there is no more pamoinim b'toicha rimoinim v'rimoinim b'toicha pamoinim. But there was a tzivui and the asiyah, that the asiyah of the me'il had to be done in such a fashion that you have to have first hanging up all the 72 rimoinim, and then putting on the 72 pamoinim beineim. Skov Stark Anogat, and he said that the Emes Pshat in the Posuk, what it says in Parshas Pekud, Vayasu al Shul Amir Rimoyin Tchelas, first they put the Rimoyin Tchel, they put it on top of the meal. Vayasu Pavayidnu Sapamonim Besoicha Rimoyinim, Sovi Besoicha Rimoyinim means to say that after you finish hanging all the Rimoyinim, you're putting on all the Pamoyinim in between them. At Kan Dvorov. I would like to say that this is the Pshat in the Targum. Saying a Grace Chidushin, this is the Pshat in the Targum. There's a chiluk of the parsha of Asiyas Amiil, which is said in Parshas Tetzaveh, from the Parshas Pekude. Parshas Tetzaveh is talking about the tzura of the Me'il. It says, look at the Pesukim, V'hoyo piroisha b'seicha sofo, V'hoyo al aron l'shares, says the Targum, Ve'ave al shfilus schoyer schoyer, V'zogen dov b'neyon schoyer schoyer. Which means that after he's mefarish, the tzura of the Me'il, he says at the end of the day, the Pamoinim were bein harimoinim. Because that's how the Shula Me'il looked like. Pamoinim, Pamoinim, Pamoinim. And that's what it says, beinei schoyer schoyer. Throughout the whole hekif of the Me'il, there was Pamoinim and Pamoinim, Pamoinim. Parshas Pekudei is not the tzura what the Me'il looked like. But Parshas Pekudei is Tziva and Asiyas Amiil, and the Asiyas Amiil by the Yosef Melochu. He says, "Ve'avdu zogim ve'yahavu yazagaya begoyim rimonaya b'soicha rimonim." It's Tziva and the Asiyah. Therefore, you toile all the rimonim bedilug, and after you finish toile all the rimonim, you put it the pamoin in the revach. And you look at the Pesukim, it's so emes lamita shel Torah. You look at the Pesukim inside. Vayasu pamoin zov va'idnu sarimonim b'soicha rimonim sovi b'soicha rimonim. It says twice in Parshas Pekudei. It says twice Sovi b'soicha rimonim, but it's very, very interesting. The beginning of the pasuk says Vayasu pamei zov pamoin zov tov va'itnu sarimonim b'soicha rimonim. Doesn't say the word Soviv. Al Shula Amiil, and the end of the pasuk says Soviv b'toicha rimonim. The beginning of the pasuk is talking about the Asiyas of the Me'il, and therefore you put the pamoinim after you hang up all the rimonim. You put it b'toicha rimonim. And therefore it doesn't say Saviv, because we're not talking about the Tzuras of Me'il, it's talking about the Asiyah. It's not a word of Saviv. Al Shula Me'il, Saviv b'toicha rimonim. Once you finish, then you look around Saviv with Pam and Verim, Pam and Verim. So I think that this is the Pshat in the Targum. The Targum is mavdil between what it looked like lechatchila, what the Tzuras of Me'il was b'soif ha'inyan, and what was the thereafter, later after. But I would like to focus on another shaila and leave the oilam over here, maybe with the shaila. V'nishma koile bevoil hakodesh lifnei Hashem ubetzeisei. I'd like to quote to you a Rashbam, a fascinating Rashbam in Parshas Tetzaveh. Listen to this. Shepamoinim noikshim umakim zelazeh אף על פי שבליטס הרימונים ביניהם. ולפי שציווה הקדוש ברוך הוא וכל אדם לא יהיה באוהל מועד בבואו לכפר בקודש הצייסי, לכן ציווה הקדוש ברוך הוא ונשמע קולוי בבואו וישרחקו השמים משם. The reason why, says the Rashbam, a philosophical word, the reason why these gling bells ringing inside the Me'il and the Shul, because since the Kadosh Baruch Hu told him to walk in V'nishma koile bevoyel HaKodesh lifnei Hashem b'tzeisei, and the izet tzivu v'chol odom le'iyeh be'oyel moyed bevoyel l'chaper b'kodesh hatzeisei. So in order for people, put an alarm system, in order for people to listen, to be misrachek from the Mokim where the Kohen Gadol is walking in, therefore they put the palm in order for everybody knows the Kohen Gadol is coming, please leave, he has to be there himself. The problem is when the Kohen Gadol goes in to make the Avodah, he's walking with Big Day Loven. He didn't wear the Me'il in Gansen. He's wearing Big Day Loven. Big Day, we just saw the Rashi over here in Yume. Rashi says Pamoina Me'il is the Zov, and the Big Day boots is the Big Day Loven. So this ganze shtickle Torah is a shene shtickle Torah, but l'chure, it doesn't make any sense. Why in the world would you have Pamoin Zov to tell people to go out? For Avodah, the Kohen Gadol is not walking in with a Me'il, he's walking in with Big Day Love and not with Big Day Zov. So Be'emes is that the Torah Tmima, the Peyah that we say in Yom Kippur, Amitz Koyach, It says, Kofatz machta beyamin, ubazach bismoil, kish tseodov la pareches. It says, kish tseodov pareches means to say kish means istro balagina, kish karya. There is a gling going on when he goes in. That's what the Payat, Rab Lezer HaKalir, when he writes the Payat from Amitz Koyach, he says, Kofatz machta, he's talking about going in, l'fnai v'l'fni, the machta and the kaf, and the bazoch bismoil. And then he's making noise. He brings the Rashbam, and he writes, the Loshen, he writes, Ve'inei ein keitz lapliya. L'chur is a pele otzum. The ganze shtikulter from the Rashbam is a pele otzum. And Be'emes is kwa kidmo b'tiferes Yisrael. He is on the fourth parak at the end, Hilchas Ogvirto. You look at the Mishnayos at the end, he brings down the Payat, and he says it doesn't make any sense because he did not walk in with the Me'il of Zohav inside Lifnai v'Lifnim because he couldn't go in the big Zohav. So l'chur, not to leave you puzzled, I'll say just one teretz. The Goyen in Sefer Kol Yo in Parashas Achemoy says like this: Bezois Yov Aaron LaKodesh. The Goyen brings them. I'm quoting the Goyen. Omar HaKadosh Baruch Hu LaMoshe Lo Kishem She'ata Sovu Ela. Don't think that Aaron can only walk in Achas Pam Achas Bashana. Ela B'Kol Shor Shu Roitze L'Ikonis Ikonis. Akshi Ikonis B'Seder Hazeh. That's the Loshen Ateras Koyanim. Now Aaron can walk in B'Seder Hazeh. So the Goyen that the Aaron can always walk in B'Seder Hazeh. The kids of Aaron afterwards, the kinder, Lozo, Pinchos, the Koyanim Gdel in future generations did not have a problem of walking in. They had a problem; they could not walk in. Aaron HaKoyan had B'Zeis Yovam B'Chol Mokim B'Chol Shor Shu Roitze L'Ikonis Ikonis. Aaron had a special heter to go into Lifnai v'Lifnim any time during the year that he wants to walk in, and the Bonim is not Rosh only b'Yom Kippur. So Yom Kippur, there's the inyan of Ein Katega Nases Alege. So he's over the big deal of it. But Bekol Hashana Kula, he was over the big Zov. So Meili Srachak Hashemim, he's talking about when Aaron wants to come in Bekol Hashana Kula. And I once told this teretz to Chaim Kanievsky, and he shmeicheld. So according to the Goya that he could walk in, if you could walk in, Reb Chaim said, darf man wissen, wenn reingegangen, Bekol Hashana, Aaron allein, so gegangen, Lifnai v'Lifnim, mit big the love and with big the zov. But he's not coming to be mechaper, it's not over here, the whole Maaseh of Avedis Yom Kippurim for Kapor. He's just walking in whenever he wants to walk in. It's possible that at the time he walks in, Shalom Menas L'chaper, then there's a halacha of, he walks in with big the zov, because that's the begodim that he wears Kol Hashana Kulo. We don't find the big deloven only on Avedis Yom Kippur. It's a shaila. Chaim said it's a shaila. It's not so partial. You know, I just would like to quote as a finish. We don't have too much time left. Quote: there's a moyed gemoyed to Sephorna, and the Sephorna says, "Ba'atlokas neiris." It says. In the Parsha of Adlokas Neir, it says as a Bechutz Laporichus or Eidus Boil Moyed Yaroch Eisa Aaron Ubad Behem Aboik Lifnei Hashem Tomid Chukas Oilom Lederoi Sechem. So the shaila is Vos Yaroch Eisa Aaron Ubanov, the Ketores from the Tomid, and you could Adlokas Neiris and Ketores could be done by Kohen Head Lederis. That's the halacha. So Vos Yaroch Eisa Aaron. Why does it say Yaroch Eisa Aaron? It doesn't say Banov. So I would like to quote the Sephorna. Sephorna says, "Afal pisha hoisa adlokas haneres v'chen kteres atom is kshere b'koyin hedet lederes k'fi ma shekiblu chazal mikol makoyim neema b'shneim ha'arein ki omnom kol yemei hamidbar oyo inyan hamishken b'chol yoyim ki inyonu lederes b'yem ha'kipurim sheneema b'y ki be'ono neroy lakaperes v'zeh כי בכל ימי המדבר נאמון כי ענן השם על המשכן ימום ולילה ואש תהיה לילה בוי. ולכן מן הירוי שיהיו מייסי הקטרס והדלוקס הנרס בוי הנעשים בפנים, נעשים על ידי כהן גודל כמו שנעשים לדרס ביום הכיפור. It says, Vibal, there was Bazundara Ashoras Hashchine, and in the Mei HaMidbar, Onon Hashem Givен al Midbar Yom V'Layla, so it had a din Kemoi shenasim l'deiros b'yom Kippur. Comes out that throughout the Midbar, until Aaron HaKohen died. If Aaron HaKohen died, Rosh Chodesh Av Ishnas Arboim. So the Adlokas Neiros and the Maisak Teres were done, Azevis is done L'Doyos B'Yom HaKippur. And Aaron was Mishamesh B'Ches B'Godim. Mainly if Aaron was Mishamesh B'Ches B'Godim, there is a halacha of an Ishma Koiloi B'Voyel HaKodesh in order for the Pamoinim to be used whilst Aaron HaKohen is working B'Chol HaShana Kula.